The Galactic Union had not spoken of Earth in over 300 years to most species. Earth was just an old ghost story, a blue planet that once rose too fast, burned too bright, and then vanished. Some believed it was destroyed in a war. Others thought it simply collapsed from within. No one really knew, and no one really cared until the signal came. It was a quiet day, aboard the listening post orbiting Varnes 5. The station was run by young alien cadets from the Venari race. Tall, thin, with bright silver eyes, they were experts at scanning deep space. Their job was simple: listen, record, report. Cadet Varco was bored. He had been watching the same empty sectors for 3 weeks. Nothing ever happened this far from the galactic core. But then it happened. A strange pulse appeared on his screen. It was soft at first, like a heartbeat. Then came a sound, a voice, rough, old, human. It spoke only one word: Earth. Varco sat up straight. He replayed it again: Earth. The voice was clear. Human language? Impossible. He ran the signal through the translator 4 times. Same result: Earth. He called over his superior, Commander Teller, who laughed. Impossible. Teller said, Earth is gone. This is just an echo, a glitch. But Varco couldn't stop thinking about it. The signal wasn't just random, it was directed. It came from a specific region of space, a dark zone, a place called Sector 9th Theta, forbidden sector where ships disappeared and sensors failed. Varco checked the records. No ship had gone into that zone in over a century. But now, Earth was calling from there. That night, while the station was asleep, Varco made a decision. He loaded a small stealth pod, set the coordinates, and launched without permission. It was dangerous. He knew the punishment could mean exile or worse, but something inside him burned. A question that refused to die. What if Earth wasn't gone? As he entered Sector 9 Theta, everything went dark. His sensors froze. Lights blinked. His ship began to shake, then silence, blackness, and then light. Blinding golden light filled the cockpit. His ship was no longer in normal space. He had crossed into something else, something hidden. Before him was a planet, blue oceans, green lands, but not like the pictures in the old books. This Earth was darker. Its skies were red. Storms covered its poles. But it was alive. Orbiting the planet were massive ships, dark, sharp, and silent. They had no visible markings, no known shape. Their engines burned with orange flame, like fire trapped inside metal bones. Varco gasped. Earth was not dead, it had changed, evolved, hidden in a broken part of space to survive before he could move. Alarms went off. Unidentified craft detected. A deep voice said through his system. He tried to respond, but his controls froze. The ship was pulled forward by an invisible force. It was being dragged toward one of the large carriers above the planet. He saw the symbol, now burned into the side of the human ship. A skull, made of ash and flame. His pod landed in a massive hangar. Soldiers in black and red armor approached. They moved like shadows, silent and quick. Their helmets glowed. Their weapons looked like lightning trapped in glass. One soldier stepped forward. She removed her helmet. Human, her eyes were golden. Her face was scarred. She looked at him with no fear. You came here on purpose? She asked. Varco nodded slowly. I heard the signal. I had to know. The woman stared at him. We sent the signal, she said. We wanted someone to hear. Someone to warn the others. Warn them of what? She stepped aside. A large window showed Earth, below massive cities, glowing red, dark towers. Rising from oceans, fire burning in the clouds. The woman's voice dropped to a whisper. Earth was betrayed, forgotten, buried, but we never died. She leaned in close. We are the Ashburn now, and we remember everything. Varco's heart raced. He had found Earth, but this was not the Earth from the stories. This was something new, something angry, something coming. Asterisk, the hidden planet Varco, had never felt fear like this, not in the battle simulations, not during deep space drills, not even when his ship nearly crashed during training. But now, standing inside this silent steel hallway, he felt it. It wasn't just the humans. It was the atmosphere itself. The air tasted like metal. The walls pulsed faintly, as if the station was alive. Lights flickered in deep red tones. Every sound echoed too long, like the place had been empty for centuries. Until now, 2 armored humans led him deeper into the structure. They never spoke, never even looked at him. His translator chip caught faint murmurs from distant rooms' words that sounded like prayers or oaths. The doors ahead opened with a loud hiss. A tall man waited inside. His black armor looked fused to his skin. A long cape made of ash-gray fabric dragged behind him. His eyes were dull silver, but they didn't blink. He stood perfectly still, like a statue built from war itself. "Bring him in," the man ordered. The guards stepped back. Varco walked in slowly. "I am Commander Kale of the Ashburn Fleet," the man said. "State your name and purpose." "I'm Cadet Varco, from Varney's 5. "I came because of the signal," Varco replied, voice shaking. Kale studied him. "You were the first to answer," he said. "Good. That means the others will follow. We need witnesses. Witnesses." To what? Kale walked toward a wall and tapped a panel. The room dimmed. A giant hologram lit up images of destroyed planets, shattered ships, and old Earth colonies abandoned long ago. "They erased us," Kale said. "Burned our history, blocked every channel, spread lies to the stars." He zoomed into a scepter. Marked origin black. It showed the solar system, surrounded by a red warning ring. Earth hid itself using cloaking fields and a broken gravity shell. It took us decades to build it. No scanner could find us. Not even time could touch. Us in here. Varco was stunned. But why hide? Why not fight? Kale's jaw tightened. We did fight, and we lost. The Galactic Union feared us, so they struck first. We called them allies. They called us a threat. He turned the display off. Now, we return, but not with peace, not with warnings. With reckoning, a sharp alarm rang across the hall. A soldier entered, saluted, and handed Kale a data drive. Kale placed it on the console. A projection lit up. It was a Galactic Union battleship, burning. The screen flickered. A human warship the size of a city emerged from behind a moon and tore the Union vessel apart with a single shot. No sound, no warning, just fire and debris. Varco stepped back. "That's impossible." Kale looked at him calmly. "You've been raised on lies, Cadet. We didn't just survive. We evolved. Our science, our minds, our weapons, they're centuries beyond what the galaxy knows." He leaned forward. "Every system that laughed at Earth, every empire that joined the silence, will feel the heat of our return." Varco couldn't breathe. This wasn't a rogue faction. This wasn't rebellion. This was a revenge empire, and it had been waiting in the dark for 300 years. Suddenly, the walls trembled. A voice came over the intercom. Ashburn Fleet. Alpha requesting launch orders. Target, Valari Outpost. Orders, burn. Kale nodded. Let it begin. The windows opened, revealing hundreds of black ships rising from Earth's surface. Some shaped like blades, others like dragons. Their engines glowed like dying suns. Your council must be warned, Kale said to Varco. But they won't listen, not at first. That's why we're going to show them. What do you mean? Varco asked, confused. Kale handed him a small data cube. It contains proof, our history, our pain, our plan. Take it, run. Varco clutched it. The commander's eyes turned cold. Tell them, Earth is no longer a planet, it's a force, and fire follows us. As guards led him back to his pod, Varco looked one last time at the rising warships above Earth. The planet had hidden in the shadows for centuries now. It was stepping into the light with fire and fury. The Galactic Council chamber was tall, gold, and cold. 13 alien species sat around a floating crystal table. Their faces were proud. Their robes shimmered. No one spoke with emotion. They didn't need to. They were the rulers of the stars, and had been for centuries, until now. A low-priority alert had brought them here. A returning cadet from a forgotten listening post, speaking about ghosts and fire. Cadet Varco stood in the center. His face was pale. His hands shook as he held out a small black cube. I saw them, he said. They're back. Earth is back. And they've changed. Chancellor Illyrian, a tall being with violet skin and 6 golden eyes, leaned forward. Earth, she said, smiling. You came all this way to speak of myths. Varco's voice cracked. It's not a myth. They call themselves the Ashburn. Their ships are unlike anything in our fleets. They're hiding in Sector 9th Attic, cloaked by gravity fields. I saw it. Another counselor, a lizard-like Roth commander, scoffed. Sector 9th Theta is cursed. Nothing survives there. I did, Varco said. The chamber fell silent. He placed the cube on the table. A soft hum filled the room. Images flashed Earth, no longer blue and calm, but red and alive. Fleets of black ships rising like swarms, cities burning bright, and a voice, we were erased. But we are not gone. Earth returns. The Roth commander snarled. This could be fake, a trick. Varco stepped forward, then explained this. He tapped the cube again. A second video played, showing the destruction of Valari Outpost. A massive Union military base. The attack lasted 6 seconds. 6. A single Ashburn ship appeared from behind. A moon fired once, and the entire outpost exploded. No warning, no escape. Your base was destroyed 2 days ago, Varco said. And Earth didn't hide it. They wanted you to know. They want everyone to know. The council chamber buzzed with quiet voices. Fear, something rare among these leaders, had entered the room. Still, Chancellor Illyrian raised a hand. We do not react to fear, she said. Earth is dust. What you saw may be a splinter group. Pirates with stolen tech. We will not fall into panic over shadows. Varco's eyes widened. You're making the same mistake again. She turned to him. Enough. Return to your station. This council will investigate. Varco stepped back, defeated. As the guards led him away, he glanced around, No one believed him. Not yet, but someone did. A small figure waited in the hallway outside Advisor Realm, an ancient being who rarely spoke at all. He looked like a mix of machine and moss, wires crawling from his head like vines. He spoke softly. What you saw, I saw too. Once, long ago, Varco stopped. You believe me, I was there, Relin whispered. When Earth burned, I was young. They begged for peace. We gave them silence. He turned and walked Varco, following. They were proud, Reldon said. But we were more afraid of what they could become. So we made a choice. What choice? Reln stopped. We erased them, not with fire, but with lies. And now the lies are burning as they walked far away on the outer edge of Union space. A fleet of Ashburn carriers exited subspace, each one marked with the same symbol, a skull wreathed in fire. The lead ship opened comes. A voice spoke to all nearby systems in every known language. You laughed, you forgot, but we did not. We are the ash of Earth, and we are your reckoning. On board that ship stood General Kale, his black armor lit by the orange lights of war. He stared at the map before him, stars blinking, systems blinking, targets blinking. He touched the first. 1. Begin. Missiles fired. Worlds burned. And the galaxy finally remembered the ghost they tried to forget. Asterisk. The Galactic Council finally believed, but it was too late. 3 outer colonies were already gone. No distress calls, no survivors, only blackened skies and melted moons. Ashburn ships left no evidence, no patterns, only symbols. Strange marks burned into orbit, circles, fire lines, a skull surrounded by falling stars. The Council called for emergency deployment. They sent Fleet Prime, their largest battle group, to Sector 7. It never returned. What they got back instead was a box, a single black metal box floating in space. When opened, it played a message. This is not war, this is memory. You forgot us, but now you will be forgotten. Varco stood with Advisor Realm on a hidden base deep beneath the capital planet. The Council had fallen into panic. Borders were collapsing. Systems were surrendering without a fight. Still, some refused to believe it. The Ashburn are using tricks, said one military leader. They use fear as their weapon. Realm shook his head. No, they use memory. Fear is just the result. He turned to Varco. You must understand. The Ashburn do not want conquest. They want judgment. Then how do we stop them? Varco asked. Realm looked at the hologramma, growing red waves spreading across Union space. You don't. Above the ruined world of Teleris, the Ashburn fleet hovered. The planet's cities had fallen in less than 4 minutes. The skies still burned. Civilian transports floated dead in orbit. Inside the Ashburn command ship, General Kale stood before a wall of faces, dozens of screens showing. Ashburn captains from different divisions. Their voices spoke one by one. Cleansed. Ven system burned. Teleris reduced. Kale gave no praise, only orders. Next, Rottergate, their stronghold. But sir, one captain asked. They still have 12 active fleets near the gate. Heavy resistance expected. Kale stared straight ahead. They had their chance 300 years ago. Let them resist. On Rotter, the Galactic Union was preparing for the final stand. Massive cannons lined the moon's surface. Drones scanned every direction. Warships waited like hungry animals. Admiral Core. a fierce battle strategist with stone-colored skin, paced the command bridge. No stealth, no surprise this time, he barked. They'll come fast, they'll come hard, but we hold. Suddenly, sensors screamed. 100 Ashburn ships dropped out of subspace knot in front of the gate. But behind it, the Admiral froze. How? The Ashburn had used gravitational tunneling, an ancient human technique once thought impossible. Within seconds, the defense line crumbled. Ashburn destroyers ripped through shields like paper. Their weapons didn't fire lasers, they launched soundless, glowing energy bursts that bent metal and split air. The Union fleet didn't break, it shattered. Admiral Core tried to send a final message to the Council. He only managed 2 words. They're everywhere. At the Council Tower, alarms echoed through every level. Leaders argued, shouted, blamed one another. Realm watched from a distance. They will not survive this, he said quietly. Varco stood beside him. Then why did you save me? Realm turned. His ancient eyes were heavy with guilt. Because the galaxy needs to remember. Someone has to survive. To tell the truth this time, he gave Varco a small ship key. Go, get out of here. Leave before the Ashburn arrive. Varco hesitated. And you? I was there when Earth was betrayed, Realm said. And I will be here when Earth returns. Varco ran behind him. The Council Tower lights flickered, then went dark, high. Above the capital, the sky tore open. Ashburn carriers entered orbit, black against the stars. The people below stared in silence, knowing what came next. From the lead ship, Kale looked down at the planet, not with joy, not with hate, with cold purpose. A soft voice behind him whispered, "We waited so long." Kale nodded. Too long, then. Without a word, he raised his hand. The final wave began. Ash fell like snow across the stars, and Earth once forgotten burned its memory into the universe again. The skies of the capital planet were no longer blue. They were red now. Red from smoke, red from flame, red from the fury of Earth's forgotten children. The Ashburn had arrived. One by one, the great cities fell silent. Defense towers turned to dust. Satellites fell from orbit like dying stars. No escape ships were allowed to leave. Not this time, inside the last war bunker. Only 6 Galactic Council members remained. The rest had either fled or vanished. Illyrian, once the most powerful voice in the galaxy, stood trembling in the dark. They weren't supposed to come this far, she whispered. A quiet reply came from beside her. They didn't come this far, said Advisor Realm. They came home. Above them, in the heart of the Ashburn command ship, General Kale prepared the final transmission. He stood at a round table. Around it were other commanders, each a survivor of Earth's fall, each shaped by pain, by time, by silence. On the center of the table was a small black cube. Kale pressed it. The final message played across. Every system in the Galaxian, every screen, in every language. 300 years ago, Earth asked for help. The galaxy turned away. You erased our name. You mocked our bones. Now you will remember. Outside, the Ashburn fleet began to descend. They didn't use bombs. They didn't need to. Their weapons were precise, quiet, beautiful in their terror. Towers melted into the ground. Energy waves pulsed outward, shutting down entire cities without a sound. Gravity shifted. Time bent. It was not destruction, it was erasure. In a small forest outside the capital, A child looked up and saw the sky full of ships. She didn't cry. She didn't scream. She only asked her mother, "Is that the ghost people?" Her mother nodded, double quotes yes, but they're not ghosts anymore. Varko's ship hovered just outside the chaos. He watched through the screen as everything below turned to ash. Not one Ashburn ship had been damaged. Not one had missed. He opened the message Reln had hidden in the data drive. It was a personal log. Reln's voice crackled through. "To the one who finds this, the truth was buried. Earth didn't die. It became legend, and legends don't stay buried forever." Varko looked down at the last words. "History is written by the survivors. This time, make sure it tells the truth." He closed the message and flew away. Back on the surface, the last council member stood alone. General Kale and a dozen Ashburn soldiers entered the ruined hall. The fires behind them lit the broken glass, casting long shadows. Illyrian dropped her golden crown. It rolled across the floor and stopped at Kale's feet. She looked up. "We were wrong." Kale said nothing. She stepped forward, tears in her eyes. "You want revenge? You have it. End it." Kale stepped closer. He removed his helmet. His face was burned, scarred, but his eyes were calm. "No," he said. "This isn't revenge." He pointed upward. "This is memory." And then he turned away. The Ashburn didn't kill her. They didn't have to. She had already watched her empire burn in the weeks that followed. The Ashburn moved through system after system, not conquering, not ruling, reminding. Their message was always the same. We asked for help. You gave us silence. So now, silence is all you get. Then they left, nothing but ashes behind. Years later, in a small school on a rebuilt world, a teacher told a story to young alien children. She said, "There once was a planet called Earth. It was strong. It was kind. But no one listened when it cried." A child raised a hand. "What happened to Earth?" The teacher smiled softly. "No one knows. Some say it still watches. Some say it sleeps again. Some say it waits for silence to return." The class was quiet, and far above them, beyond the stars, in a dark corner of space where sensors still fail, a single Ashburn ship floated quietly, waiting, watching, remembering.